my name's Jen. Thanks for clicking on the video for another episode of From Kitchen to Campfire. And today I'm going to show you two different things that we often pair together. I'm going to do my dehydrated hummus and dehydrated roasted peppers. Now, we always eat these two items together, which is why I want to do the same video showing how I make them. And of course, I'm going to show you all the steps at home in my kitchen, as well as a clip at the end of me making the hummus and the rehydrating and using the roasted red peppers out on the trail. So thanks for watching. For making my hummus, I use a pretty standard hummus recipe, except I don't add any oil. So there's no olive oil, no sesame oil, no tahini. Instead, I use sesame seeds, which I will grind up in the food processor with the chickpeas and the garlic, the cumin, the lemon juice, the salt, and the pepper. So I start with 2 cans of drained and rinsed chickpeas. Now I'm adding 4 tablespoons of sesame seeds. Next, a tablespoon of lemon juice. Next, I have 3 large cloves of garlic, and you can add more or less depending upon your preference. Now, a rounded teaspoon of cumin, again, add more or less depending upon your preference. Some salt and pepper. Now, because we're not adding any oil to this recipe, to get the smoothness that I need, I'm going to add a half a cup of water at a time. This might seem counterintuitive, but you need to get that creamy consistency. Now you will have to re-stir it a couple times just to make sure all the chunks are getting to the bottom. Now that is looking fantastic. Give it a little taste. Oh, that is just so good. Okay, now we're ready to put it on our dehydrator sheets to dehydrate. So I'm going to use my fruit leather trays on my dehydrator trays for the hummus. Now, I made a big batch. I won't be able to put all of that on one tray. It'll probably take 4 trays. You want it to be not too thick of a layer. So I'm going to put both of these trays in my dehydrator at 125. They will take the rest of today and all night to dehydrate. I will check back in the morning, do a little progress video. What I'm looking for is this will be all crumbly and pulled together, and I should be able to crunch it into a powder. But I'll show you that tomorrow. Next up, I'm going to do roasted peppers. I'm doing green peppers today because that's what was fresh and on sale at my local market. When I do the peppers, I like to quarter them lengthwise, remove all the seeds and the little white bits, and dehydrate them in those large quarter slices. And the reason for that is when I'm making my meals out on the trail or putting together my food, I know that 1 slice of pepper is essentially a quarter of a pepper. It helps me portion out for our meals. We use these, we'll rehydrate them, put them in wraps, put them in spaghetti sauce, curry chicken, all kinds of meals. Roasted peppers have a really fantastic, rich, sweet, smoky flavor, and you can do any color pepper, really. Today, we're doing green. And now I'm just going to lay out all of my quarters, skin side down, on a large pan. I will not be spraying these with oil because, again, the golden rule, you don't want any oil on your dehydrated food because it can cause it to go rancid. My oven is at 425. I'm going to put those guys in for about 20 minutes or so until the skins get a nice char going on them. Alright, it's been 20 minutes. Now I'm going to flip these guys and throw them back in for another 20. Alright, the peppers have been in the oven baking at 425 for 40 minutes. They're nice and soft. Now my trick for getting the skins off is I'm going to put them in this Pyrex bowl. Just like that. And then I'm going to put some saran over, and I'm going to leave that for about 15 minutes. And the steam that builds up in here will make the peels all separate, and I'll show you it makes it really easy to peel them off. So I'm going to peel the skins off the peppers, mostly because they just don't rehydrate as nice and they taste weird. This takes a couple of minutes, but the peppers have cooled down quite a bit, even though they look all steamy. Alright, so I have just about to fill 2 trays with my roasted peppers. I've peeled as much of the skin off as I can. So there we go. I'm going to put them in at the same time as the hummus at 125 degrees, at least overnight. I'll check on them in the morning and I'll show you guys what they're looking like, but they're probably going to take close to 24 hours. So my dehydrator has been running for about 15 hours. It's the next morning. I'm just going to have a look and see how things are doing here. Yeah, peppers are still a bit soft. They're getting there though. Alright, here we go. So the hummus is almost done. It's very crumbly. That is looking great. So I've switched up my trays. My peppers are now on the bottom and my hummus is on the top. I want to give the hummus just a little bit more time, maybe another hour or two, then I'm going to take it out and let the peppers just cruise. Okay, it has been about probably 18 hours. The hummus is definitely done. As you can see, it's dry and crunchy. It was probably done a couple hours ago, but I was out, so I didn't see it. Now what I like to do is transfer it from my trays to a bowl, and then it'll go into a jar for storage. I find this is the easiest way to do this. So the finer your hummus powder is, the creamier it'll be when you rehydrate it. So you could put this back into a food processor and like grind it up. I just kind of scrunch it with my clean hands until it's down to more of a powder than chunks. Now to portion this out for a trip, we like to, if I'm going to use it in wraps, I'll probably take about a half a cup each, and that will do 2 wraps for each person. So half a cup is lots of hummus for 2 wraps or 1 wrap each, however you want to portion it out. If you're just kind of having hummus with cheese and crackers, you could go with maybe a quarter of a cup. It will, clearly when you add water to it, it will expand and get a bit bigger. Alright, doesn't have to be perfect. That looks pretty good to me. And I'm going to store this in a mason jar until it's time to go to camp. It's been about 24 hours. Oh yeah, these are perfect. They've thinned right down. They're super crunchy. I'm going to turn this off and let these cool to room temperature before I store them in a mason jar. I like to store my roasted peppers in a mason jar, and I have these little packs that pull the moisture out just in case. There we go. Alright everyone, so we're all done. I've got my dehydrated hummus, I've got my dehydrated roasted green peppers. Out on the trail, I will hydrate these and use them to make wraps for lunch. I'll use the hummus for dipping crackers in. The green peppers I'll also add to spaghetti sauces and stir fries and curries and all kinds of recipes. These are fantastic to have on the trail and super easy to make at home. And yeah, very soon I will show you what we do with these out at camp. Everyone, it's about lunchtime and today we are having hummus, roasted pepper, and tuna wraps. Now because we do plan on going on a little bit of a paddle, I want to set up the hummus and roasted peppers to rehydrate right now. And I'm going to do that in a little container with some hot water. And we can pack all of our snack stuff into our day pack and take it with us and have our lunch when we're out on our little trip. So here's my dehydrated hummus. Here's my dehydrated green peppers. I'm going to rehydrate them together. I've found in the past it really flavors the hummus nicely with the green peppers. And even though we're going to have like a couple wraps each, because my peppers are in these chunks that I know is 1/4 of a pepper, I can just like pull out each section to put in our wraps nicely. So I'm going to put these guys, actually I'm going to add the hot water and give the hummus a little bit of a stir. Then I'll put the green peppers on top and add more water. And the hummus will start hydrating almost instantly. There we go. Got a bit of a stir. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, it smells very garlicky. I love it. That's what you need out on the trail. You can cold soak this. I've done that many, many times. Or if it's summertime and it's a bright sunny day, I've just put room temperature water in the hummus, put it in a little bowl and set it in the sun for half an hour, and it's rehydrated beautifully. And you can see how creamy that is. It's just amazing. All right, so I'm going to add my peppers to the top. Like that. Kind of squish them in a bit. Add some more hot water. And I'm going to put the lid on this. And the heat and the steam and everything is going to rehydrate those peppers just beautifully. Oh, one little nugget. Hey, bud. Very sweet green pepper. Yummy, yummy. Okay, so we'll check back in shortly. I'm going to let this sit for at least 10 minutes. And then depending on whether we go for our canoe ride right away or not, I will show you how it looks when it's all rehydrated. So it's lunchtime, and our hummus and roasted green peppers have been soaking in the warm water for a couple of hours actually. So I'll show you here. You can see just, oh, these are perfect, nice and soft for our wraps. That's fantastic. Okay, very quickly, I'm going to show you how we do our wraps here. Shoxy, I don't need your help. I'm going to do pepper. This is like a ridiculous amount of hummus. But that's where all your protein goodness comes from. We have a sun-dried tomato and olive tapenade tuna, which we've had before and we really like it. It's super flavorful. So I'm going to put half here. And that's it. We'll call that lunch. We have 2 wraps each. And this is like super protein, super flavor, wonderfulness. And obviously very easy to do out on the trail. The roasted green peppers are so sweet. They're just intense flavor. So good. There's a very angry bird behind me. Thanks for watching this episode of From Kitchen to Campfire. I hope you're able to incorporate the dehydrated hummus and roasted peppers into your meals. And I'd love to hear about how you use them if you do something different other than just wraps. Thanks for watching.